Give that to your saddler. He'll provide the rest. You must shape the horse to the rider. Start with a yearling and teach it to respond to the reins and to the boy's voice.
Will I really be able to ride?
You will. On horseback, you'll be as tall as any of them.
Is this some kind of trick? Why do you want to help him?
I have a tender spot in my heart for cripples, bastards, and broken things.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 8 prediction video. I will be announcing the new winner of my Game of Thrones Season 7 Blu-ray giveaway at the end of this video, so make sure you stay until the end to see if you've won. But let's get into today's topic. There are several characters I need to talk about, so I want to get started right away. About 9 months ago, before Season 7 aired, I made a video about which characters I thought would be responsible for winning the Great War and ending the Long Night. So far, my prediction seems to be coming true, but now that Season 7 is over, I wanted to update this video before the final season airs. In the first season of this series, there was an episode called Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things, and I believe that these characters featured in this episode would end up being some of the most important characters in this entire story. Each of these characters will play a role in defeating the Night King and his massive army. In order to even stand a chance against the Night King, everyone will need to provide some type of service, even from some of the unlikeliest of characters, which are the Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things. You can see that all of the characters who were heavily featured in this episode have already made it until the final season. There will be a bittersweet ending though, so some of these characters may die. Some of them probably will die, but not before they put up one hell of a fight. When you think about it, most of the characters from this episode should be dead already. Jon Snow was stabbed multiple times, including a fatal blow delivered right through his heart, but the power from the Lord of Light brought him back. He even managed to survive a dangerous mission beyond the Wall when it looked like all hope was lost. Daenerys Targaryen spent most of her life running from the usurper's hired knives, and she was even moments away from ingesting poison. Not to mention, she has survived multiple fires that would have killed anyone else. Arya Stark was also stabbed several times that would have killed any other character that isn't wearing Valyrian steel plot armor. Bran Stark should have died when he fell from the broken tower, and he should have died before he even reached the Three-Eyed Raven's cave. Or at the very least, he should have died when the Night King attacked the Three-Eyed Raven's cave, but he is still here. Tyrion Lannister should have died during the Battle of Blackwater Bay, and Tyrion should have died after Oberyn Martell lost a trial by combat, but he escaped death once again. Samwell Tarly has come face to face with a White Walker twice, but he has managed to survive. Gendry should have died when all of King Robert's other bastards were being killed at an alarming rate. Gendry should have also died while he was being held captive on Dragonstone by Stannis and Melisandre. Jorah Mormont should have been beheaded by Ned Stark, and he definitely should have died when he contracted grayscale, but here he stands. The Hound should be dead right now. Brienne beat the brakes off the Hound and Arya left him for dead, but the Lord of Light isn't finished with him either. Even Theon Greyjoy should be dead right now. He was tragically mutilated, but he should have never made it out of Ramsay's grasp alive. And last but not least, Jaime Lannister is another character who should have died on multiple occasions, especially during Season 7 when he came face to face with Drogon, but here he is, even with one hand he is ready to help defeat the Night King. All of these characters should be dead right now, but they aren't. They were all kept alive for a very specific reason. These characters will survive until the very end, and each one of them will provide a service that will be needed in order to end the Long Night. Some of the biggest badasses and greatest warriors this story has ever given us are already dead. People like Barristan Selmy, Khal Drogo, Oberyn Martell, One, and many more. Those are all characters I thought would have been perfect against the Night King, but even they couldn't survive. So you have to ask yourself, why are all of these cripples, bastards, and broken things still around? Some of the characters featured in this episode seem so unlikely to make it this far, but somehow they have. Of course, we all know how important Bran Stark is now, but when this series began, who would have thought this crippled little boy would have become so important? He is arguably going to be needed the most in order to stop the Night King. Without him, they may not have been able to do it. Even Jon Snow, when we first meet him, it wasn't likely he would end up where he is right now. It took for some very extreme circumstances to happen for Jon Snow to be in the current position he is in. He was a bastard boy in the Night's Watch, and he should have been living out the rest of his days at Castle Black. But now he is the king in the north, preparing to lead the fight against the darkness coming to lay over the world. When we first meet Samwell Tarly, he is one of the most pathetic men to ever join the Night's Watch. He couldn't even hold a sword, let alone fight, and he was scared of heights, even though he knew he would eventually have to man the top of the wall. It was pretty sad, and even Jon felt bad for him, but it didn't take long for this broken man to rise in this world and become the key figure in learning how to defeat the White Walkers. Sam's role isn't finished just yet, and he still holds some important information that is yet to be revealed, but I believe he will find it in some of those books or documents he took from the Citadel. With Sam's help, they will find a way to survive the greatest threat the realm has ever known. Arya Stark was just this little girl who wanted to learn how to water dance and protect herself, but now she has become this badass ninja assassin who holds one of the few Valyrian steel weapons that will be used to take down some of the White Walkers. Her skill set should be very useful in the war to come. And I can't forget about Tyrion the Imp Lannister. It seemed like this man was destined to end up like Robert Baratheon, just drinking and whoring his way through life. But look at him now. He ran into some bumps along the road during Season 7, but he did earn his Hand of the Queen title. Unlike when he was Hand of the King during his father's absence, although he did prove he could handle the job when need be. He also earned his stripes during the Battle of Blackwater Bay, and I think Tyrion's advising and war tactics should be vital during the war against the Night King. Gendry was also just another bastard that seemed like he would be a dime-a-dozen blacksmith for the rest of his life, or roaming the woods with the Brotherhood without banners. But after he disappeared for multiple seasons, he found his way back into the main plot. Gendry was brought back for a reason, and it must have something to do with his skills as a blacksmith, or bringing together Houses Stark and Baratheon after the war is over. Gendry will be needed to ensure that House Baratheon does not go extinct, and before it's all said and done, he could end up in a very powerful position. Now that the Hound is back, he has seen the light, and his services are going to be used for something good. The Hound is going to be a strong soldier for this war, and I can't wait to see him kick some White Walker ass. Hopefully he does get his hands on some Valyrian steel, something he said he has always wanted. But regardless if he does or not, the Brotherhood without banners were right. The Lord of Light isn't done with the Hound just yet, and his role is just getting started. I loved watching this episode again, now knowing with hindsight just how important these cripples, bastards, and broken things really are. At first glance, most of these characters were being overlooked. And I love underdog stories. I love seeing characters rise to greatness that once had no business of being in any position to do so. But I am going to assume Dan and Dave will keep the essence of George R.R. Martin's story and give this a bittersweet ending. So we could see some significant losses before it's all said and done. One of the most popular phrases in this story is all men must die, so even though these characters will play their important roles, it doesn't necessarily mean they will all survive the winter. But these cripples, bastards, and broken things will all leave their marks on this world. They will end up being more important to the survival of the realm than all of the other kings, queens, lords, and ladies who look down on them for most of their lives. And who knows, maybe the theory about Sam being the narrator of this story is true. And if it is true and we do see Sam as an old man reading or writing down the final pages of this moment in time, then I am confident he will give these characters their proper time to shine on the pages, knowing they stepped up in the most dire of situations to do what they could to save the realm, and possibly even sacrificing themselves to ensure that others would survive. That could be a bittersweet ending in itself, or at least it would be for me, but of course we are going to need several armies and several large dragons to fight the Night King. But without the prep work done by characters like Jon, Bran, Sam, and even Tyrion, none of that other stuff would even matter. But these are just my opinions, of course, and you can certainly disagree, so comment down below and let me know what you think about this. Do you agree with me, or do you see it playing out another way? Before I go, I want to announce the new winner of the Game of Thrones Season 7 giveaway. The winner of today's Blu-ray is R. Blankenship. Congratulations, make sure you contact me and confirm that this is you. Just send me an email or private message me on YouTube and I will send your copy right away. I want to thank everyone for entering and everyone who took the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate that. I do have one more giveaway to do for Christmas just to thank all of you for continuing to support the channel, so make sure you watch my next video to find out the details about that one. It's going to be a big one that I think you will love. But have a great day everyone, I will see you in the next one. Bye.